Welcome to another episode of Jabsports on Jab Media TV. My name is Shule. You can also call me Amin. So in today's episode, we're going to talk. I'm still going to give you updates on the transfer news, like how I did last week. Um, there are more news that is going on, more transfer updates. We're going to discuss about that. Then triumph in Bibiani. So Bibiani Gold Stars are champions of the Ghana Premier League. And then people have said the Ghana Premier League standard has dropped. Over the years, if it's not Kotoko, it's has. Even though we've had Wow Stars, we've had Adriana, we've had Midiama also win in between them. But we all know from from 2000 all the way till now, it's mostly Kotoko and Has. And a lot of people have complained that the standards have dropped. But has it really dropped? I mean, last season Insuantruman won the league. This season is Gold Stars. So looking at it, we've had Wow Stars in it. We've had Adriana, we have Midiama. So in general, between 2000 to now, has the Ghana Premier League standard dropped? We'll discuss about that. Then making our league better, common standard procedures. Now, the Ghana Premier League is gone, it's over. Now we are going to prepare for next season. That's the 2025-2026 Ghana Premier League season. And now we also what happened this season. Poor infrastructure, poor background. The officials was very bad. Like I mean, everything about the league this season wasn't good at all. Even last season, even last 2 seasons. I did a research about the whole of this season. So yesterday evening, I was doing a research about. So I took the last 5 seasons and I did a general research on it, and I realized that the standard of the league has basically been the same. Like I think it's been poor compared to let's say for example 2000 to 2010, and compare from 2015 to 2025. Realize that the season has been absolutely poor, devastating. And then I'm doing a research project on safety, on Premier League safety, football safety in Ghana. And then so today we are going to discuss about that, how to make our league better and some common standard procedures for next season. Right then, I mean, I'll also go through which is not part of today's agenda, but remember the FIFA Club World Cup will be beginning very soon. It might not be today's discussions though, but we'll also bring you a day-to-day discussion on that, the FIFA Club World Cup. Today, this morning, I woke up and I realized that the FIFA president says that people are not purchasing the tickets, especially if you look at the first matches, the first group stage matches. The tickets sold have not even passed 40%. And I'm asking myself, is it the fact that the matches are being played in the United States of America where they don't love football, or the fact that the tickets are way overpriced? We'll also talk about that in just a brief time. Alright, so today's show is being sponsored by EF Metalworks, which is located at Amasaman. Just go on Facebook and just type EF Metalwork. Anything that has to do with metalwork, uh, anything that has to do with metal, just contact Mr. Frimpong and then he'll give you all the necessary procedures on that. Nurturing the American Dream Today, a book written by Frank J. Mensah. The book talks about how you can gain success in Ghana. Every time I talk about this book, I've had friends who attack me on campus saying that the attack me saying that even our top businessmen, our top politicians are opening businesses in the United States, are living in the UK, in Austria, and everything. And then later on, they come and tell us that you can gain success in Ghana. Even the likes of Despite and all those guys went to make money over them, brought the money here for investment. So how are we going to get our money here in Ghana and stay investment? We are taking 3 to 5,000 CDs every month. Everything is in this book. Just purchase the book, and then you the book will teach you how to how to disintegrate or whatever you have. And then finally, Dell Cosmetics, anything that has to do with jewelries, cosmetics, anything, just contact them on social media, and remember you have a 10% off on your first checkout. All right. So today I have today I'm not going to be on the show alone. I have a co-presenter or a co-sports journalist, something like that. So let him introduce himself. Yeah.
I'm not a sports journalist. I'm just a fan. My name is Daniel. My friends call me Danny.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
So it's, as I said, more like a sports fanatic, and I mean today I want him to come and share his own personal ideas, opinions um, and we might be seeing him often every time. Yeah, we'll be seeing him all the time. So he's here to help me. Because remember, when it comes to sports, when it comes to journalism, it's more fun when there are people with different ideas and different opinions. Remember, it's the way I think will be different from the way another person will think, and bringing all those ideas will somehow, you know, be able to give us so many different, like so many opinions on one topic for you guys out there to be able to what, to be able to understand and also create your own understanding and your own opinion, right? So we'll start with the transfer news updates. Before I begin, all right. So before I begin, at the end of the show, I'm going to have a small. I'm going to introduce you guys to. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Lakeside Marina Park, who are having a show called a program. It's called BEC Pens Down Splash. Remember, the BEC began will begin tomorrow. Yes, the BEC will begin tomorrow. So at the end of the show, I'll give you a small explanation of whatever is going to happen at the Lakeside Marina Park after the BEC. All right. So let's go straight to today's so next up is the transfer window. That's the first topic for today's agenda, the transfer window. And remember, on Jab Media or on Jabsports, everything that has to do with transfer comes from reliable sources: Fabrizio Romano, David Oinstein, etc. So it's not as if you are sitting down here and you are formulating transfer issues. No, we are not formulating any transfer issues. We are, you know, we're just trying to create. It's not as if we are creating our own ideas, but everything is on social media, so you can, that's our references, so you can just go to the page and make your own references. All right. So I don't think my producer has this picture because I'm just seeing it right now, but Theo Hernandez is in discussion with Atletico Madrid after turning down Halilao bid on Sunday. Talks ongoing with his camp, but no proposal at AC Milan expectation level yet. Milan had dealt down with Al Hilal for 35 million euros and insists an important fee. Now, funny enough, before we came live, I and Danny were talking about how this season a lot of footballers are rejecting bids from Saudi Arabia, and that's exactly what is going there. So, Theo says he doesn't want to go to Saudi. He actually wants to go to Atiku, and um, AC are saying they want 35 million euros for Theo Hernandez. So, how do you see the deal?
It's a good deal for Atletico Madrid, in my opinion. They they've had few problems with their fullback positions, so Tio Hernandez will be a very good addition to it. And then in the bit about team or players rejecting bids from Saudi Arabia, I don't know if it is about the quality of football or there's something about the Saudi Arabia that their counterparts are telling them about that is making them reject the Saudi bid. Because apart from him, I think few other players, what is his name? Victor Osimhen also rejected a bid
Yeah,
from
and
Saudi.
he,
So I don't know if it is the money is not good enough for them, or but all the same, it's a good deal for Atletico Madrid. AC Milan themselves are in a little financial trouble, so
yeah.
selling him for 35 million. Euros is a good deal. They are making some money on it.
Yeah, and you know the thing is, I I mean, yeah, we've seen a lot of good players go to Saudi. We've seen Cristiano Ronaldo, we've seen John Duran, we've seen a lot of them. This young guy at Brighton, this English striker at Brighton, the one that left Brighton, what's his
Ivan
name?
Ferguson.
No, not Ivan Ferguson. No, I said Brighton, sorry, Brentford.
Brentford.
Ivan Tony.
Ivan Tony.
Yeah, Ivan
Yes.
Tony. We've seen all these guys go there. But then it feels like somebody is trying to send some information to these guys that, you know what, Charlie, remain at where you are. Yeah, especially with these young guys. I mean, if you are, I was expecting De Bruyne to go because I feel like he's in his 30s now, and I feel like okay, he can accept a Saudi bid because of his age and everything. But he himself says no, and these young guys are using him as a reference. He say no, you know what? Let me just stay at Europe. I mean, the money I'm making in Europe is enough. Yeah, I know Saudi you don't pay taxes. I know they don't take taxes over there. So if they're paying you, let's say for example, they're giving you 200,000 euros every week. That's your base salary.
No
Whilst
taxes.
no taxes. Whilst in Europe the taxes goes.
Goes and all
But then you see, it's not sometimes if I like as I said before the program, players like Kudus and all these guys are young players where no one is saying you shouldn't go to Saudi Arabia. No one is saying you shouldn't go to Qatar or UAE. But then make your name for yourself in Europe.
With even in Theo Hernandez's case, for example, he's not a young player.
Yeah, it's not yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's approaching his 30s.
Yeah, 30s. Yeah.
So I think it's more maybe cultural. If they look at themselves and look at the culture in Saudi Arabia, not everybody is comfortable.
Yes, exactly. Nobody's comfortable with
so
that.
So maybe the culture was also a big aspect in that. Money is there, but you know these players, they were born and bred in Europe. You don't get a lot of European players moving to Saudi Arabia. It's more those from the Africa and then South America, and then those. But the real Europeans, they don't really.
Yeah, they don't really fancy that exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's that.
Yeah. So as I said, Theo Hernandez is in discussion with Atletico Madrid after turning down Al Hilal bid on Sunday. So keep an eye on that. And I said last week, so I'll still talk to my producer with that. So last week I said that even we can't wait till every Tuesday to give you transfer stories. I was thinking, you know what, we can just create a graphics, post them on our social media platform. It gives us the numbers, it gives more interactions, and whatever people are going to see in the comment section, you can even use that to create your own news for the following week. So I think we will have to do that so that we don't wait till, because I mean, what is going on? You might, when, for example, this Theo Hernandez news, by the time we wait till next week Tuesday, maybe this news might be dead. Whilst people want to know more updates about it, but not everyone would like to go and sit on Twitter and be reading news. Somebody might be there on YouTube, listen to it, and wants more updates on that. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. The next time, so when we mentioned another person's name, as Danny mentioned, Victor Osimhen also rejected a bid from the same Al Hilal on Sunday. Osimhen wants to leave Napoli. Napoli wants to get rid of him. Already Napoli has Lukaku, which I think he did very well together with Scott McTominay. They won the Serie A. Even though I thought Inter should have still won it, I feel like Inter bottled the Serie A. They bottled the Scudetto. No matter what people are going to say, I feel like they bottled it.
It's difficult for you to play against an Antonio Conte team, especially in the league, and a team that is not in Europe.
Exactly.
Napoli was not in Europe.
Yes, it's true.
And even if you look at Antonio Conte's teams, usually when not even in his first season, in the course of the season, those cup games or cup competitions, he tries as much as possible. I don't know if it is intentional to drop out of them to just focus on the league, because I heard something about his training regime is in a way where he needs to prepare the players for like a week to every game. So those cup games, it doesn't give his team much time to train the way he wants. But going against Antonio Conte's teams, a team that is not playing in Europe, it was a difficult task, and I think they just did a little bit more than Inter, and then they won that league.
I get it though.
Inter were caught in two minds. They were focused on the Champions League,
and then
but Inter is an experienced team. I think I would take maybe the Marcus Thuram injury to them in the league was also a problem. And then the matches they got to during that crucial period was also tough for them.
Tough for them.
Losing Marcus Thuram at that time, and then the games that they had,
too much.
They just crumbled.
The fixtures didn't help them.
So yes.
Yeah. So and remember, Galatasaray still wants to sign Victor Osimhen. So the real question here is, you've rejected a bid from Saudi Arabia, a huge bid. You don't want to go there, and now you have Galatasaray from Turkey. Literally, they're currently the best Turkish team there. Even Fenerbahce is not close to them. How much more the likes of Besiktas and the others? And then you have the likes of Chelsea who are somewhere eyeing you. United also like to sniff that opportunity. Even Arsenal also like to sniff the opportunity. But then there again, all these teams would like to sign you. But then it's like they're looking for a sort of salary that they don't want to pay you that salary. So as Victor Osimhen, where Saudi has come and has brought in a huge bid, a huge salary, they're like, you know what, we're not going to. You are like, you don't want to go to Saudi because you feel like you are too young to go there. And now the top class in Europe want to sign you, but they are saying, you know what, reduce your salary. In your opinion, right? Like, how does he? In your opinion, how do you feel? Like, do you think, okay, let me go, since I want the money, go there. If I don't want to go there and I want to be in Europe, reduce the salary? Or do you think he still should fight for what he deserves?
Fighting for what he deserves. The Victor Osimhen issue is a little bit more than salary, in my opinion. the salary bit is there,
Yeah.
but when agents and then clubs talk, they can work something out.
Yeah.
But I think the more issue is his transfer fee from Napoli. You know, De Laurentiis, the Napoli
Yeah,
owner,
it's a very
he's a
difficult.
stubborn
Yeah,
man,
it's a stubborn
so
man.
he doesn't like to, he doesn't compromise on certain things. But if he is to get himself under, maybe from the Napoli contract, maybe other teams, the teams that want him, they wouldn't consider the salary as much, because maybe then you don't have to pay a transfer fee for him, and then the salary will be able to, you can compensate. But looking at Victor Osimhen, his options, uh, he doesn't really have much options
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
He was destined for big things when Napoli won the Scudetto 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
So, and then that move to Galatasaray, he was supposed to move to Saudi, it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
And then now that is 2 years on.
That's years
And
on.
so he doesn't see the Saudi move as something that will help his career. He's not looking at the money bit per se. I think, in his opinion, he's looking at because I'm sure Saudi is offering him way more than he's requesting from the European teams. And looking at his age too, I think he should just give himself. If you maybe are taking a 300,000 pounds, look at 200 to 50. That is good money for you as well. So you should just maybe look at it both ways,
Because
then make a decision.
I've realized something is that if he was, because a lot, if you go to Fabrizio's page and where he talks about Victor Osimhen, and we see if you see what people are saying in the comment section, you'll be surprised. Like, people are calling him money power, like people are calling him money angry, like he's hungry for money. People are saying he's stupid. He has carrying based on career on money. Like, as if you read the comment, that is
If it is the money he wants, he should just go to Saudi and then.
and that's what I'm saying.
everybody
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So people.
But I don't think it's only about money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's about money, because
I think he thinks he's better. His career in Europe is not over. He has a lot to offer still in.
Yeah, because I think he's 25 years or something like that.
No, I think Victor Osimhen is close to 27 years.
27 years. Right? Even with 27 years, he can. So he has about 3, 4, 5 solid years in Europe.
Yes.
So I'm looking at the thing like, if he actually wants money, freeway, they've brought you the contract, just sign the contract and just go to Saudi.
It is how he looks at himself. He sees himself as a very top player.
Exactly, yeah.
You want to sign a player like, let's say, even given Victor Gyökeres,
Yeah.
who was playing in
Sporting,
Portugal.
yeah.
If you are signing a player like that, you demand a lot of salary.
Yeah.
Because of the pedestal that they put themselves. They don't really care about the opinion you really have about them.
Yeah.
So he sees himself as a top player. This season he's done very well for Galatasaray. I think he was their top goal scorer this season.
exactly,
So he's done very well,
Yeah.
and he seems to
He's
that
won
he
2
can give
trophies
you,
too,
he can give you. He's not a player that gets injured most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
So
yeah.
if you look at all those things, you can see that Victor Osimhen values himself
Yes.
high, and he thinks he deserves more.
Yes, if you're playing 38 matches in a season, he can give you solidly 35 matches out of the 38. He might even give you all the 38 out of the 38, yeah. So, I understand him, he regards himself as a world-class player, as a top player. I don't dispute that fact. But the thing is, if the person's decision is based on money, I'm sure that contract coming from Al Hilal will be times 5 of whatever money most European top clubs want to give him.
That is what I'm saying. It's
Yes.
not only about the money.
Exactly.
One, it is about, yes, the money is there.
Yeah.
He needs it. How he looks at himself is also there, and then the trajectory of his career that he's looking at. So these 3 factors all coming together to make his decision not to go to Saudi
Exactly, yeah.
and stay in Europe and still demand.
And sometimes it's also not from the players. It
Yes.
might also be from the money that his own agency are requesting from these clubs.
You see,
And
that one
the
is
sort of
there.
discussion
And
they
then
have.
having Aurelio De Laurentiis behind you, not wanting to let you go for cheap money.
Exactly. Exactly. So I don't get why people are trying to be on his neck. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah. But we'll see how that goes. So is it another story? Another story that's been bothering me a lot is Joe Bellingham.
Joe Bellingham.
Yeah, Joe Bellingham. Right, and people are like, he's living on his brother's hype. I've had a lot of. I even had an argument with someone yesterday on campus telling me that Job is not a world-class player. Yes, he's not a world-class player. I get it. He's not up to that word world-class yet. But people are like, no, he's living on his brother's hype, because why would Dortmund sign him for 35 million euros from Sunderland when people are basing him on goals and assists, and he's a midfielder? And that's one thing I hate about modern football, is the fact that everything is about goal and assists. When it shouldn't be related to certain players. Certain players are not supposed to be, judged based on goals and if that's the case, and then Modric is not a world class player, Xavi is not a world or Iniesta or whatever, or Busquets or the likes of Paul Scholes and all these guys.
I can't fault the people who think that the football should be based on goals and assists. Messi and Ronaldo have done it like that. They have caused it because the football on the ground, they are very good at it.
Yeah.
But so what could separate them at the time was the goals and then the assists and then the number of trophies. But talking about Joe Bellingham, I kind of agree with the people who think he's living on his brother's hype. He's a good player. He had a very good season with Sunderland, helped them get promoted to the Premier League. But I don't think he's worth 35 million pounds.
Exactly,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes, and knowing Dortmund, they don't splash that much money on players. They buy them. Your friend is saying on low, not high. Yeah, so they buy them on the low. So I don't know. Maybe they have seen something in him.
Exactly.
That maybe we have not seen.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
let's wait and see how that one goes.
Yeah, that's what I think because Dortmund doesn't splash money on that.
You see.
So 35 million.
Euros, that is
maybe
a lot of money.
they've seen something in our.
So we are cross our fingers.
Oh yeah, because
what he produces.
If it doesn't do well, we actually also going to drag him. Yeah, we're going to drag him though, because anyway, because even his brother himself, I mean, I love Jude. He's a top class footballer, but even to him, sometimes I feel like he's a bit overhyped. Sometimes I feel like Madrid fans, or even English supporters tend to overhype him a bit because I've seen.
It's not his fault though. The fact that he's English is also a factor. Once you are English, even if you are this good, they push you up. The English media and then the fans, they talk a lot.
And that's why and that's one thing I actually like about the English media. Look at this House of Oak goalkeeper for the Benjamin, sorry, Black Stars goalkeeper. Like, it was to be an English. I tell you for a fact that he has left House of Oak a long time.
Oh yes.
And by this time he's in a top club.
They give their players, should I say, the necessary support or hype they need.
Yes.
But sometimes they tend to overdo it. But Bellingham, I think, is worth the hype. It's not too much of a hype. Last season, not the previous season, but the previous season, I think the 2020, the 23-24 season, he did it very well. I think the coming of Mbappe really brought the season down.
Yeah.
But I think Jude Bellingham is equally a good player.
Yeah.
Last season he was in the contention for the Ballon d'Or. It wasn't just hype. He did very well. But English players and then the English media, so you can give them that.
And it seems like now Spanish media is trying to copy the English media actually. In a way, I feel like they are also trying to do the same thing, trying to overhype players. And you've seen that with Pedri and Gavi. We've seen that with this guy.
No, don't do that.
You're a Barca fan, right?
Not per se a Barca fan. I'm a Barca fan, yes, but I think Pedri deserves all the hype that comes to him.
No, I'm not saying
he doesn't even get mentioned enough. Look at the Nations League finals, for example, like just Sunday. When he got out of the game, they lost control of that game. Even the France game.
I'm not saying he's overhyped.
He's not hyped enough.
He's a top class player. But sometimes I feel like the media is going a little bit extreme. But then he's not hyped enough though. Because if you compare to other youngsters, if you compare to like the likes of Musiala or even Bellingham or even some of the young players, you feel like he's not up to that level.
He is. He actually is.
No, not performance-wise. I mean,
in
terms of hype, yeah.
And sometimes it boils down to the player and his character.
Okay, sure.
Lamine Yamal, for example, is someone, he has the personality of Ronaldo, so he gets to make people talk about him.
Yeah, it's true.
Apart from his performances, he says things or he does things that make people want to, what is this boy trying to say? Then the conversation goes.
Yeah, he has that
Pedri is more calm. Jude Bellingham is also an out person, like he's an outspoken person. That one also plays a major role.
I've seen a bit of this Ronaldo trait in Yamal. It seems like he has that bit of he has a bit of arrogance in him. But he's not arrogant too. He just likes to praise himself.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. But when you overdo it, it becomes.
Yeah, I mean Ronaldo overdoes it. That's what sometimes people don't like.
Ronaldo does. I don't think Ronaldo overdoes it. He believes in his ability, and he's right if he says I feel I am the best player.
Oh no, of course. Yes, he has every right to say that.
Yes, he has every right to say that because what he has achieved in football, I don't think only few people can one or two people are the only people who can say they've achieved what he has to achieve.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, but the talk and do there. If you are talk and do, you have confidence that.
I
once
mean,
think
just feel
I can
free and do it. That's all. I mean, that's how it is. Yeah. So Johnny Cardoso deal remains underway between Atletico Madrid and Real Betis, but then according to Fabrizio, the deal will not happen today. So we'll see how that one goes because Atletico wants him for Atletico actually wants him for the Club World Cup. So we'll see how that goes. And the player himself also wants the move. Next up is Milo Kekes to Liverpool remains a matter of time. With final rounds of talk taking place very soon. The deal won't be completed today, but as soon as Liverpool will meet Bournemouth again to get a deal done. So and Trophy will be his replacement at Bournemouth. So we've all seen this guy Trent Alexander-Arnold who's going to Real Madrid, and then Liverpool are trying to replace him with Milos Kekes. Kekes has had a top class player, a top class season with Bournemouth. I mean, through the start of the season to the end of the season, he was even in my fantasy lineup. He's been top class.
I think Liverpool have to get that deal done today.
Yeah,
Because today is the deadline day for the Club World Cup transfer deal.
All right.
Deadline.
Okay.
So they have to get that deal done, and then that Johnny Cardoso deal too.
Has to be done.
Yeah. So we will keep an eye on that. Maybe by the end of the day, something will happen.
Yeah, but from what Fabrizio is saying, it might not happen today. But then again, anything can change the world of transfer. So we'll see how
if it doesn't happen now and it happens later in the transfer window or the second transfer window,
we'll see how it goes. But then again, I've had that so many conversations, like I've had that so many ideas, and then I sit down and look at Liverpool, and I look at I look at Ancelotti. I mean, he has had a brilliant season. Don't get me wrong, but I look at I wouldn't say some of the performances, but I've looked at majority of the performances they had this season in the Premier League, and it feels to me like you know what, they haven't, even though they are champions, they haven't been very good. I feel like they've scrubbed a bit of some of the performances there and there, and then you see. I sometimes also feel like he has the quality is there because of Klopp. Klopp has actually built the team to that level where he has not had that pressure, and I think the real pressure will come in next season. That's how I see things, because lucky enough Salah hasn't left. He decided to sign a new contract. Van Dijk has decided to sign a new contract, and then so the really key player there is Arnold, and I mean Kekes is I wouldn't.
Apart from Arnold, I think what's his name?
Robertson
is also, he's not having a really good time.
A very good time there.
So they need to replace him.
Now the question here now is, would Kekes be able to fill in the boots of Arnold? And I know Liverpool would want to sign a new left back. It's a new left back. Yeah. Would that new left back also be able to put in that sort of shift that Robertson has done over these years? And again, with Van Dijk and Salah, looking at Van Dijk's age, looking at Salah's age, would they be able to put in that numbers again next season? And there again, finally, would Slot also be able to, you know what, like keeping that consistency that he did last season, to the extent that there are times when they didn't perform very well, and then he was able to scrap in that win or draw. Because remember, they finished I think 84 points. And if you look at the season that Klopp won the Premier League, I think they had over 90 points.
Yes, that has been the standard for a long time.
Yeah, that's been the standard for a long time, and they brought that standard down to 84 points. So were they able to match that consistency where they can beat that 84 points, or then they'll get less than that?
In my opinion, I think Liverpool actually looks scary for next season, because one, Arne Slot used Klopp's team, and then they played similarly to how Klopp's team plays.
Yeah.
So he didn't really change much, and the team was not his team.
Yeah.
And he got them to play the way they played last season. Let us not. Maybe they had a very bad end to the season, but they had a really good start of the season. It afforded them the ability to drop points, getting to the end of the season, and still not panic in terms of winning the Premier League.
Yeah.
So you should give them that credit. They had like about 16, 17 consistent matches where they were not dropping points. 17 consistent wins. So they had a very good season, actually, in my opinion. Maybe when they realized that the league was wrapped up, they decided to just drop down the level. And then that PSG game in the Champions League, they dropped.
lost, yeah.
Yes, that one also had a toll on them a little. But they in the Premier League they did very well. When they saw that the Premier League was wrapped up, they just dropped the level a little bit. Not
Yeah,
too,
but then yes, I understand you, but I still have that. I when I watch, anytime I watch, and I still feel like, because I've seen Slot when he was at Feyenoord before even coming to Liverpool. He's a very good coach. He's a very, very good coach. But I'm still not, even though they've won the league, I'm still not very, very, very convinced. And you've all seen the city. You've all seen the Pep signing.
I
The sort of
understand.
players Pep is.
I understand, but you see, the thing about the club, the Arne Slot issue is, one thing you have to look at is that good teams, you not always have a good day,
Yeah, of course.
and some of those, the performances have not been bad; they've just been laboured.
Yeah.
So maybe the ability for you to grind out results when things are not even going your way is things that champions or good teams have. And it's not as if in the previous seasons where Man City was winning the league 4 times in a row, they had very, very, very. I remember the season, the third trophy they won. They won the last day against Aston Villa. I remember that game very well. It was a very, very difficult game. But that is how champions play. You need to grind out the result. Everything will not go your way, yes, but you need to find a way. But it looks scary for me. Klopp is Slot actually is a good coach. Bringing on what's his name, Florian Wirtz. Milos Kekes is a very good fullback, and he's better than Trent in terms of defensive abilities. So yes, and going forward too, he's good. This season, I think he's one of the few defenders who have had assists which are reaching double figures. He has like, I think, 10 assists or so. So going forward, he's good. Even playing for Bournemouth. So going forward, he's good, and then he's better than Alexander Arnold defensively. So his ceiling, he has a high ceiling. He can do well. He will solidify that defensive line for Liverpool.
Looking at the upcoming season, for example, we've seen the players that City are signing. Let's accept this, that United are not going to win a league. Neither are they going to put any competition. Right? Chelsea is not going to win a league. Spurs is not going to win a league. Maybe Chelsea might sign 1 or 2 players that might, put pressure on this team, but Chelsea is not going to win a league. Spurs is not going to get close. United is not going to get close. The small guys that are doing very well, the likes of Villa, Newcastle, Brighton, and then Nottingham Forest.
Yes.
These guys are also not going to win the league. Maybe a bit of a pressure there and there, but they're not going to win the league. So basically, it's between 2 clubs.
No, three in my opinion, 3. So Arsenal are bottlers. Yes,
okay, sorry, I forgot about Arsenal too. Sorry. Yeah. So Arsenal, yeah.
Yes.
And definitely, I know Arsenal are going to get some players. They've got an eye on certain players they want. So I know definitely they're going to get a striker. I'm sure they're going to.
I don't think Arsenal will get a striker.
You don't think Arsenal is going to get a striker? So you think
the performance Merino is putting up in the Nations League, you don't buy a striker.
So you think Arsenal is going to rely on Merino? They
have to get a striker. That is true. They have to get a striker.
Yeah,
but
because you can't.
I'm skeptical.
Because let's be honest with you. If I'm a coach, for example, Arteta. So imagine I'm Arteta or I'm a coach, and then I sit down and then we go to a point in time there where the whole reason why Arsenal bottled the league this season is that they're not scoring enough goals. Because look at the goals Salah is scoring for Liverpool. Even Haaland, that didn't even have a great season. Look at the number of goals. If you take Arsenal, I don't think any striker scored had double figures. Any of their attackers had double figures in the Premier League.
In the Premier
Yes,
League.
in the Premier, none of them. Haaland finished around
with
22 goals, and Salah had I think 27 or 29 something like that. Yeah, 28 goals.
Yes.
Now you look at these guys, and even pick Brentford, where Mbeumo had 20 goals.
Yes.
You realize that They need somebody who can score goals. Havertz can't give you 20 goals a season. Moreno is good, but it's not going to give you 20 goals a season. Saka is the only person that can give you that 20 goals, and he himself is a winger. So you can't rely on a winger. You need that striker.
Mo Salah has taught us you can rely on a winger.
Oh yeah, I mean Salah.
I understand.
But you know one thing about Liverpool is that Liverpool's style of play depends on Salah to score goals. That's why any season, since the time of Firmino was more of the anchor, where he will come into midfield, release the come and receive. You come to the midfield, pick up the ball from Henderson, and then the link up play goes to either Salah or Mane.
Yes, that was there.
That was the whole style of play till Firmino left, and that's exactly what Jota and Diaz are doing. That's why both Jota and Diaz can't score a lot of goals, and that's the reason. And you see, Klopp had the idea of deciding to I want to spread the goals into my front three, and that's why he brought in Nunes, and Nunes was top class for Benfica, came to Liverpool, and that's it. Everything is dried up. When even the opportunity is there, he will miss. And it goes to the point that even Slot came and he had no choice than to put him on the bench and rely on Jota and Diaz, who both of them are not doing any better from Nunes himself. So it's like Liverpool are relying more on Salah. Majority of the time they rely more on Salah for goals. The main man actually. Yes. But the thing about Liverpool is that he's also doing the thing. He's scoring the goals. He's doing it. So if he's doing it and it's working, and that is it. It's working. The goals are coming.
Okay.
Yeah, like the kick comes to Arsenal when Martinelli is not scoring the goals. Havertz is not scoring the goals. Injuries are even disturbing him. Moreno, yes, he has done very well, but the goals are not coming. And you can even see from the Madrid game where a midfielder was the one that was the one scoring the goals. Saka can score you the goals, but the question is, Saka is not consistent like the way Salah is consistent for Liverpool in terms of scoring goals. So it's there. You need a striker. And I can tell you, for if Arsenal doesn't sign a striker, they will not win the league.
Even if they do sign a striker, they have a chance. But Arsenal, that I know, well, I believe maybe this time around Arteta will find a way to convince his people that, I really need a striker now, because they've had the opportunity to sign Isak, they didn't do it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of strikers.
A lot of strikers all of them they've decided not to sign.
I'm hearing Sesko is going to the
Saudi League, and Arsenal is a striker.
Sesko is available.
Gyökeres is available.
Victor Osimhen is available. Even if you bring money, Newcastle will sell Isak too.
Yes, so, and they're not showing any interest of signing a striker even as of now.
You see, that is why I'm saying I don't think they will sign a striker, but maybe along the transfer market is still a long way. Maybe they will sign a striker. Arsenal have been good defensively.
Yeah.
The way in terms of it's not the individual defenders per se, but the way they
individually
shape.
They're not that good, yes. But together they are very, very good.
Yes. Oh, yes. Saliba
and
Gabriel
are very good
defenders. But in terms of system and everything, they are good defensively.
Yeah. Even
they create a lot of chances as well. They just need someone to be putting them.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So we hope that.
But the way City are going, I won't be surprised City wins the league. I won't be surprised because, but then again,
you cannot write.
You cannot write it. But I just want to. You see, I don't actually believe in the Liverpool slot. If I talk, people will be like, "Yeah, you're a United fan. You don't like Liverpool." But then again, let's see what happens next season. You have a long way to go. You see, the transfer window is. I'll start my opinion on teams when I'm able to see the sort of players that they've signed.
Right now, Man City. I know why you think Man City will win the league, but one thing because of the players they are signing. But one thing too, you have to take notice of that the players need to integrate.
They need to gel, of course.
Integrate into the team.
That,
They've signed Tijani Reinders, yes, but he's never played in the Premier League before.
Yeah.
And you always say the Premier League is a difficult league to play in. Ryan Cherky, in as much as he's good.
Not actually seen him.
Yes, he's played in the league, but yes, the Premier League is a different ballgame.
Let's see how it goes.
The only player I think will not struggle in integration is
Mamouche.
Etnuri. Because he's played in Wolves for like 4 seasons. So he knows the Premier League very well. So that place they are okay, but they are good to go.
Yeah.
But next season I believe they'll come back stronger. Haaland will get his mojo back. Maybe possibly he won't get injured a lot. Foden has been very, very bad this season. Yeah. So hopefully he gets his mojo back, and then maybe we'll have a proper title race. Last season was not a
no. Last season was All right. So Brighton have now scheduled medical tests and contract signing for Diego Compola. Deal down 10 million euros plus add-ons. An Italian defender will join Brighton from Hellas Verona. So Brighton are getting their deals down there. So Ryan Cherki, Olympic Lyon have signed all documents for Ryan Cherki deal. 36 million euros fixed fee, 6 million add-ons, 15% sell-on. So it's good to see some good players coming
Lyon
in.
themselves are in a bad place. They don't have money.
They don't have
so-
money yet, so it's
and
a
then
fantastic deal for them. Yeah,
I don't think they consider Ryan Cherki to be a player that will hit the ceiling he has hit this season.
yeah,
Hence, the release clause was very low,
Yeah.
25 million. They found a way not to negotiate with Manchester City with the release clause. They put it aside and then they negotiated with him. So
Exactly.
it's good.
yeah,
They've gotten a good player for relatively less.
yeah. So Arsenal agreed a deal to sign Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad. Here we go. So Zubimendi has now verbally agreed to sign a long-term deal. So normal steps must follow soon with Arsenal to trigger 60 million euro clause. Zubi ready to become the first signing of the season. So that's with Arsenal also. And then we have Juan Garcia. So his agents will arrive in Barcelona today to proceed with a formal steps of the deal. 25 million euros release clause to be paid, and then Juan will sign a 5-year contract. Um, so Thomas Frank will become the new Spurs head coach. Here we go. Agreement done with manager on contract terms and staff. Brentford set to release Frank for fee in the region of 10 million euros. His replacement for Angie Postecoglou. So we'll come down. That's my main thing I want to discuss right now. But let me go through some of the transfer I have here. Then I'll come back to that. So, as I said, Benjamin Sesko has had talks with some Saudi pro leagues. But Sesko says he wants to continue his career in Europe. So we'll see how things will go in the next day. So as we said earlier on, most of the young players don't want to go to Saudi this season. So we'll see how that one goes. And then Ryan Nori has signed his contract, his 5-year deal with Man City. Yeah. So I think that will be, and then Victor Gyökeres. So before I go back to Spurs, Victor Gyökeres. So he hasn't said he wants to come to United personally. There's nothing that shows that he wants to come to United. But then again, United wants to sign a striker. The reason is Rasmus Højlund has had. I mean, I as a journalist, sometimes I don't want to try and degrade players a lot. But this guy is one of the worst
No,
strikers
Wasan.
I've seen. He's literally one of the worst strikers I've seen for him. You know
Wasan.
what annoys me about that the time Lukaku was at United, we used to complain that he has a very poor first start.
Yes.
I don't know if you used to
So now
remember
he
that.
still has a bad
Yeah,
first
first start.
start.
But you know one thing about Lukaku is that forget as long as the ball day in feet top and he's in front of the goalkeeper,
You will
you score goals.
At least
But
you
you see
get a
this,
shot.
at least you score the goals to at least replace the fact that he has a very
bad
poor first start. But you see this guy, you see Rasmus Højlund, the guy is literally the worst striker I've seen at United. Worst striker. This guy can't score goals.
And-
He
and
starts you
He's so bad. You cannot even say that because the United team is
bad, so he's bad.
You
This
know
guy
the United team in a general is
is bad, but
there are players that you can see glimpses of, like
they are very good. Yeah.
like someone like Joshua Zexi.
yeah.
Even though the team is bad, when he's playing,
When he holds the ball, you can see some sort of
that there's something there. But with Højlund, I don't know.
And-
I don't know if it is confidence.
And the thing is about him is that you can give him a very clear ball, and this guy will miss his touch. If that day, if you're lucky, and then he's able to maintain that touch, I don't know if he's being controlled by a
someone
PS4 pad or something like that. He can break the ball, and then the shots this guy will play. Ask yourself, Charlie, why nigga no get bones for a leg and Charlie, like he's the worst. And when I heard last week on the show last week, Fabrizio confirmed that Inter wants to sign him. Yeah, and I'm like, hasn't Inter seen his performance for?
No,
at
but
United
he came from the Italian Serie A to the, how do you call it,
Yeah,
Premier
to-
League.
yeah.
So maybe, Morata came to the Premier League. He didn't really cut it, but when he got back to Italy, he's been doing well. So that is there. And then I think Man United should more or less look at signing a striker from the Premier League than going for Victor Gyökeres. He's good, yes, but maybe he's worked with Amorim too, so that is there. But I think if they get a player who is more familiar with the Premier League, so that they can find their feet in the Premier League first, then they can start going ahead to go and find to compete in Europe. Right now, they just need to find their feet in the Premier League, get back to top four level, and then maybe they can go for these world class players. But for now, I think Brian Mbeumo is a good player they can have on their books. But I think they don't want to pay the 45 million Brentford is asking for. So they should just go ahead and then maybe get somebody from the Premier League. And then Gyökeres, in as much as he's good, I don't know, but I still have doubts about Gyökeres. He, especially in the United system, that is not picking for Ruben Amorim. He's played for Amorim before, but I don't think he'll do well at United. Probably in a system like Arsenal or maybe Liverpool. Even in Liverpool, he might do well because that place they create a lot of chances. But with United, the team is just not playing well enough to sign.
So the thing is that the whole thing is the whole United system is the three-back system is good, but then the players there currently, about 70%, 80% of them are not good enough to play that system.
Are not even good enough to play in any of the top six sides in the Premier League.
They're not good enough.
Apart from you, when you look at the United squad, only one person stands out in the whole squad. You get it? Or maybe if you want to pick up like top players in that United squad, you take Bruno Fernandes, you take Lisandro Martinez.
Even Licha, if I still have my
even Licha, the only problem he has is injuries.
Me, I wouldn't mind personally selling Licha. I think United needs to cash out on him. The injuries is becoming too much. Cash out on him and get more. See, one of the only players that I feel like they should stay at United currently is probably Lenio, the young Lenio. Then there's this young guy from the academy. I think we brought him to the academy. Heaven. Then Bruno Fernandes, and then Joshua says, I feel like he will still come.
Yes,
I think he's
will
good.
come
Yeah,
good,
I see that signs that he's good. The system is just not helping him. And the players around him too is not helping him today. I feel like the away game, man. What game can I even mention? Maybe Kobe Menu, probably.
Kobe Menu, he's good.
He's good. I feel like sometimes the people around him is not helping him.
United problem is a big problem.
It's a very big.
They say they don't have money. That is one, and then they have like almost about 6 of their players going to leave because Victor Lindelof is leaving, Christensen is leaving. I think Phil Jones.
A
lot of players leaving. Even Rashford is leaving.
Yeah, Garnacho is leaving. Yeah.
And all these players are first team players.
Yeah.
You need to replace all these players first. Then you can think about even adding on. And United saying they don't have. That is why I am skeptical that United will even do any better than they have done this season. Maybe they will come good, but
they need
even compete for Europe.
That's what I'm telling you. They need to sign a lot of players. They need to sign players, and they need to sell players. That's the key thing. In fact, the key thing is you need to sell before even thinking of signing. Sell, because if I'm a coach and I've given the list of players, all the players that
I understand that they need to sell, but who are they going to sell? You see, when teams need to sell, a team like AC Milan, they need to sell. And if you look at their team, they have 1 or 2 good players in there that they can sell to make good money. They sold Tijani Reinders. They are making a good £65 million. But United don't have the quality. If you sell the good players, the only property you have to sell that you can make money.
I'm not actually saying sign the good players because let me tell you something. If you look at the money that the money that the Glazers are making out of United, is way more than what the owners of AC Milan are making. The team's value, the United's value is times 5 of what AC Milan is valued at. So United has the money, but that money is actually going to the owner's pocket instead of using that money to invest in the team. You get it? Whilst AC Milan actually need the money to invest in the team because the owners are not actually making enough of the money they need.
The same owners are the ones saying, Jim Ratcliffe is saying, the team doesn't have.
No,
the
Jim
club
Ratcliffe.
doesn't
But
have
in
money.
you know that the structure about United is that Jim Ratcliffe actually owns the sporting side of
Yes,
United,
yes.
and the financial side of United is owned by the Glazers.
Let's say the
And
economic side of United.
the economic side of it is owned by the Glazers. Now, the Glazers are not willing to overspend, and Ratcliffe is not willing to spend from
The
his
nature
pocket
of
money.
the deal between
And-
the
see-
two owners is that anything concerning the team in terms of purchases, the football.
Yeah, it's Ratcliffe,
Yes.
but the payment side is not made by Ratcliffe, and that's the reason why Ratcliffe is looking to make looking to make external money. That's the reason why he's no more rendering services to other people. I mean, he's cutting off certain services,
Yes.
and then second has increased ticket sales and other things because he also wants to try and make more money in addition to whatever money you are going to make from the economic side of United. Now the thing is, no one is saying you should sell the good players.
Just
Even just no, the players that the coach doesn't like, you can sell them.
the
The thing is that
players that the coaches doesn't like are not good players enough.
are
that
not
can
good,
generate
but
you money.
the thing is, it's not.
Garnacho, let's say Garnacho is good, but how much can you make from Garnacho?
Sometimes you're not looking at some. If you are always, that's what I'm saying. That if you always want to look at the generation of whatever money or whatever profit are going to make, then this thing will be stacked. There are times when, that's why I wanted them to sell the team to Sheikh Jassim, because he was saying that if you look at United, and let's say for example today want to sell Harry Maguire, you don't expect to get that 70 million that you bought him from Leicester.
True,
It's
true.
not going to happen.
True.
It would never happen. So if at that time, and remember, we were all here when West Ham brought 30 million. That was last season, and we didn't sell him. If you had sold him, yes, you don't make a profit, but you are taking him out of the book. You see that what you have to look at is getting rid of those players so that you can save enough money from paying those players weekly. So getting them off your weekly wages is the important thing you should look at, not the profit that you are going to make when you purchase those players into the club.
I get
You get it? Because the more you move those players from your wages, you are basically net force. You are saving a lot of money. Because if Maguire is taking 300,000 a week, and then you get rid of him, and then you bring in another player who is taking 150,000 a week, that profit is marginalized. That marginalized profit is more than what you actually bought him for, that 70 million. And most of these players are not good enough. But I can tell you for a fact that there are clubs there that will want to sign. We're all here in West Ham. We're like, we want Maguire.
You see, it's not about the player not being good enough.
Yeah.
The United level, they are just not good enough for the United level.
Yeah, exactly.
A player like maybe Scott McTominay, probably he wasn't doing well at Manchester United, but he's doing well at
Italian Serie A MVP of the year.
Yes, so it's there. The United level, Charlie, you can't have players like Sexy playing for United, Rasmus Højlund, Garnacho disrespectful. You see, Maguire, he's been good getting to the latter part of the season, but Maguire is
Maguire.
It's Maguire. You know, player Oshesa is 50 there. You see, so that all those they don't have enough quality.
So that's what I'm saying. Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. That
You
don't focus on how much profit are going to make. Focus on what? Getting rid of those players and bringing in players that the coach can then use them to overturn the fortunes of the club. And remember, even if you end up making a loss, if the team gains its consistency back, you make a profit back.
The issue now is, even if they are able to get those players out of the wage bill, right, it still doesn't create enough financial fair play for them to sign players. The owners of the team are saying that, for example, Man City has spent close to almost 100 million or 120 million pounds to sign 3 players. United doesn't have even up to 200 million pounds to sign this season to spend on players.
You see,
that is what they are trying to say.
Yeah, but what United also wants to understand.
And then you are not signing 1 or 2 players.
Yeah, I get
so
about.
If each player you are spending close to maybe 35 million pounds on each player or 45 million pounds on each player, and you are signing 6 players, you need close to 200 million.
Yeah, but
don't have that.
Yeah, but what United has to also understand is that they're not going to win the league. They're not going to qualify to Europe. They're not going to win any trophies.
No,
I want you to understand right now at this moment.
No, if you say they are not, that means then you are asking them to drop their level. They want to get back into the top 4.
No, you have to drop. No, that's what I'm saying. That so what you are saying? You want to go back to the top 4. If you don't sell players and sign quality players, you're not going to make the top
United
4.
is not doesn't even need to sell players at the moment because, for example, most of the players that they have are leaving.
No, but some players are just not good enough for the club.
The good enough ones, you sell them.
That's what I'm saying.
After selling them, Sika Ben.
No. You still get something small. You see, what you're not getting me is that what you're not trying to get me is that the team currently is a bottom half team.
It's poor.
It's poor. You have to understand that. In order to be able to develop a team,
with the half-cooked coach,
you have to understand that you are not good enough. So you have to bring yourself down. See, me accepting the fact that I'm not good enough doesn't mean necessarily that. It doesn't necessarily mean that like you are not a top team.
Yeah, you are not a top team.
No, I'm coming. Not in a top team like in my mind, I believe in my mind I'm still a top, because when I mention top team means that I'm going to sell out stadiums week in, week out. I'm going to sell out jerseys. I'm going to sell out TV rights. I'm going to sell out everything. And the money that the things I'm going to sell out there, the only team that will come close to selling out the things I'm going to sell is either Madrid or Barca. That is it. No team is coming close to what United will sell. It's fact. It's there. Everything is there. Commercial. Everything is there. At the end of the season, they just traveled to Malaysia, and then they went to Malaysia, and then they went to I think, is it India?
I think they played a friendly.
Yeah, they played 2 friendly. One in Malaysia and then one in is it India or something like that. And they made over 200 million from just 2 matches they played there. The stadium at Malaysia takes over 90,000. The capacity was what? To the extent that those 90,000 fans were even booing them. So, like commercially, or in my mind, everybody knows it's a top club, but at this moment, it's not a top club, like as you said. So don't focus on the fact, because let's say, for example,
you see,
Tottenham qualifying.
I'm coming. I don't want to not to cut you, but you see, if yes, commercially they'll make money, but you know that actually not playing in Europe or not doing well also has an effect on your commercials.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So when you qualify into Europe, it gives you the opportunity to get certain sponsors on board. Right now that United is not playing in Europe, I bet you they are losing money.
Yes,
from their sponsors, because they are not.
Yes, they are not there.
So,
but
their target will not be to. Their target now is that they want to get back to Europe.
Exactly. And
to the top level.
Yes.
And then you need to do that as quickly as possible.
And the question is, yes, how are you going to do that as quickly as possible? If by not
means
selling
they need
them
to sign players, but
exactly.
they don't have the money to sign the players. And I'm American. I'm not the one saying it.
And I guess, and I'm saying that if you don't have the money to sign players, sell them, generate something small, and at least fill in some of the gaps, and let us continue from now to January.
Let's say you have players leaving for free, and then you have a few players you can sell that you don't need. But let's say you need 200 million to augment your squad properly, but they don't have that 200 million, and they've already lost monies because of all those things. Now, even if the players you have, you are able to sell them, you are not going to generate enough money, right, to help you properly augment the squad.
And the thing is that this season shouldn't be about getting the squad to be better.
That is what it should be about.
And it can't be like that because you don't have the finances for it to be. You see, what people don't understand, you can't build a team for a team to become better. For example, you finish 15th.
Yes.
You don't expect to build a team better for the team to hit top 4. It's not possible.
You see, you don't necessarily have to target top 4. Target top 4, but when you get to maybe 5th or 6th, right, you get to play in Europe, Conference League. That is United level now. Conference League, Europa
and I can
League.
tell that Conference League is not even our level at the moment. Oh. Because we are. Look at the teams that are close to the conference. Yeah, but if you look at the teams that are close to Conference League level, they are way better than us. The team that even finished 17, defeated us 4 times in a season. 4 times. Spurs defeated United 4 times in a season. And we are all on social media saying that the worst club in the league. So, you see, let me tell you something. The truth of the matter is that you have to be ruthless.
This United issue.
We have to be ruthless. They can't come and tell me. The owners can't come and tell me that they don't have money to. No, you can't tell me that.
You see,
that's what I'm saying.
That is what they are saying.
That's what they are saying. But you can't come and tell us that and expect we to believe, for us to believe that. Let's move forward. We'll come back to that because time is going, man.
United. Oh God.
All right. So and finally with the transfers, the Spurs issue. Let's wrap up that fast so we can, because time is going. And then with the Spurs issue, for example, as I said earlier on, you have Angie, big Angie, right? And then he came in the first season. Yeah, he came in the first season. We give another season and he finished 17th. He's won the Europa League. We've seen Thomas Frank, brilliant job for Brentford. The question here is that why would you sack Angie for Frank? And what are you trying? What is Daniel Levy looking at? What is the expectation of Frank?
I can't wrap my head around it. Daniel Levy is his decision making is some way. Remember he sacked Mourinho a few days to a cup final. So he's weird. He's weird, and I don't know, but I think the Postecoglou angle is the league. You can't really blame him too much because last season he had circumstances beyond his control, and I think Daniel Levy is also holding his team to a high standard, regardless of the injuries or everything that you have. They believe that he could have done better.
Yeah.
Because they recorded one of the lowest they have gone in a long while.
Very
Tottenham has always been in the top 6, at least top 6 for the past 5 seasons at least. So consistently they've either been in the Europa or in the Champions League. So it was a difficult thing for them to be 16th in the league. That is, you are just how do you call it, 1 place above or 2 places above the relegation zone. So that was a big thing for them, and I don't think Daniel Levy will take that. If he's able to sack someone a few days to a cup final, it doesn't matter whether you won them the Champions League or you brought them to plenty money. Once you were not able to put the team at the level that they are supposed to be in, he thinks maybe he has to go. And Postecoglou also has not helped himself in a way that he has stuck to. It's good to stick to your principles, yes, yeah. But when it is not working, you need to tweak it a bit.
And that's what Amorim is also doing.
Amorim, yes. Amorim is also stubborn.
Yeah, stubborn.
But you know, it's good to have principles.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But that is what has helped. That is what helped. How do you call it? The former Manchester United coach.
Ten Hag.
No, not Ten Hag. What's it?
Moyes or Van Gaal. Mourinho.
The former United player.
Ole.
Ghana associate. Yes, Ole.
Yeah.
That is what helped him because he wanted to instill a certain style of play. It wasn't working. Then you look at the players you have or the materials you have. Then you play them to their strength.
Yeah.
In that way, you can help your team.
And that's how he did well.
Yes. So it made them do well.
Yes.
At least consistently they were in the top 4.
Yes, for 2 seasons. Yes,
so Postecoglou to be concrete on his principles and say this is the kind of football we want to play. Beautiful. Yes, it's good to be like that, but I believe that he should have done something more. He should have just tweaked it a little, maybe go more conventional. Probably maybe they saw him like he couldn't just do anything about it because once he's stuck. You get it. Yes, so it's also Thomas Frank has proven to be a good manager. He's helped Brentford. He brought them to the Premier League and they've not looked back since. And they are playing some very, 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 very nice football. They are not. When they meet teams that they have to be expansive, they are expansive. Okay. When they have to sit back they sit back. So we will see. We will see how it will go at
of course. Yeah. All right. So that'll be all for transfer news updates. So as I said, we'll keep on giving the updates on our social media platforms on Facebook and on X, Twitter, and on Instagram at Jab Media TV. Right. So we are I mean, time we're way behind time, so let's go straight to the next one. So Triumph in Bibiani has the standard reduced. All right, so in the Ghana Premier League, Bibiani Gold Stars are champions of the Ghana Premier League, and then I mean, congratulations to them. But the issue here is that has the standard reduced? We all saw there was a point in time in England where Leicester City were the champions, and then people were like, the standard of the league has gone down. At that time, we still had an argument. People had a lot of argument that the standard has actually gone down because I mean, Leicester has some very good players at that time, the likes of Kante, Mahrez, and then Vardy, etc. But then, I mean, as we sit here right now, I won't lie to you. I follow football a lot, even though I follow the international ones more than the local ones. I can't tell you one player for Bibiani Gold Stars. I don't know. I don't know. Even my team has a folk. The only person I know is Hamza and then Benjamin Nassari. I don't know the rest. I mean, the thing is, if the league is not attractive, it's not attractive. And currently, it's not attractive to Ghanaians. I mean, even for the past 5, 6, 7 years, it has never been attractive to Ghanaians. But it's worse now. I mean, under Nantechi, it was, yeah, but now it's worse. Under kids, it's basically worse. And people are saying it's not attractive. The standard has reduced. And yes, the standard has reduced because I wanted to go to the stadium during the derby, during the Ghana's El Clasico, Kotoko and Heart at the Accra Sports Stadium, and then I saw a ticket price. I discussed that I think about a month ago, yeah, and I saw the ticket price. The cheapest ticket there was 50 cedis, and I was like, no one is going to pay 50 cedis to go and watch Accra Suffolk and Kotoko, because I'm not going to. If I'm staying at Dodowa, I'm not going to pay lawyer fare close to 30 cedis in and out and go and pay 50 cedis at the stadium just to watch Accra Suffolk and Kotoko, where the standard has dropped. And I can afford 30 cedis. But I was like, why would I go and buy 400 cedis in my car, go there and go and pay 50 cedis just to watch Accra, even though I love Accra Suffolk. And it's not as if I'm going to do a commentary for Jabsports, or I'm going there because of work. I'm just going to go watch. Like, I just want to enjoy the beauty and entertainment. So I'm not going to go because of that 50 cedis. I didn't go. I decided to watch it at home. And when the match started, Accra Sports Stadium takes around 40,000 people. The pool at that stadium was not even up to 3,000 out of the 40,000 people. The stadium was literally empty, and the performance was it was the worst performance I've seen when it comes to a classical match. Even if I compare to other European countries, it's the worst. Like, they played 0-0, they're just passing the ball to each other in 90 minutes and they closed. And that same day, when I was watching the match, on that same day, the Soweto derby was going on between Orlando Pirates and then Kaiser Chiefs was going on. And I think they played 3-3 or 4-3. The stadium was, and it was at the FMB stadium. No, FMB stadium takes around 90,000.
Yes,
the whole stadium was full. The energy, the passion, the vibes, the people were mixed. The whole stadium was full. You can see the tifo everywhere. To enjoying the match, the quality. South African league, I've always been saying that the South African league has fantastic infrastructures. They have world-class infrastructures. But sometimes when I watch the way they play, I see it to be like some sort of childish football. I watch their league very much. I can watch Stellenbosch and then Amazulu, and I feel like they are playing like some childish football in Kolagrobi. But you see that match, forget. They play proper football for that match. And then I can switch back to Haas, and I'm like, we are joking here in Accra. And you see, with all these things here, we have a GFA president who decided to stand alone, uncontested. He didn't even.
The football people decided.
The football decided, and the football people allowed him to stand alone, uncontested. They say, make you go vote yes or no, and they decided to vote for yes, that he should be our president. They decided to give him that nod. And if it's not a country that is not serious, a country that, how will somebody perform poor in his first season and will decide to even give him the opportunity to go in his second season? It doesn't happen anywhere in abroad. In the UK or any other country, you go resign, or they now go do make you left up. Your 4 years no go reach you. They go left up then give by election, make them vote give new person. Now they do it for their prime minister and their president. How much more you FA president? They'll remove you simple. But we are here in the country where, you see, the sad thing is that our media and our journalists have taken a lot of money to the side. They don't care.
Okay, I'll start from where you ended. I don't think, you see, when you complain about one thing for over and over and over again, then you get tired of it. You don't, you, one person will become one assembly. You
Yeah.
don't want to talk about it again because they, they've made it look like the journalist or the media is crying more than the bereaved. But the Ghana Premier League is something that is for all of us.
Exactly.
And I think the standard that has dropped is our infrastructure is bad. The quality of the players that we have, officiating not good, because and then the posture of clubs or teams in the league is also a big problem. You understand? The violence at
Yeah.
stadiums and all those
Yeah.
things. All these things have contributed to people not wanting to go to the stadium to watch the game.
People don't want to invest.
You see, and the I don't know, the football economy is such a way that it's supposed to generate its own money, but when a few people hijack the system and then it is benefiting only them, then it's a problem for
The
the
sports
general,
industry is literally the biggest
one of the
industry in the world.
biggest industries
The only
in
industry
the
that
world.
I feel like counts is might be a bit better, might be probably maybe IT or entertainment. UK are making billions of pounds every year from football. We are here in Ghana where we can do the same thing and use that money to sort out our road infrastructure, sort out our electricity and water infrastructures, our education and everything. We are here and few people have hijacked everything and are making money. We talked about infrastructure. How can we go to a stadium and there are no seats for supporters? And then supporters will be behind a barrister. And then to the extent that they will fight and they will stab someone for someone to die. Poor safety infrastructure. That's what happened at Nswantre. That's why Nswantre decided
They,
to back out of the league.
yes.
Yeah.
And
The
even,
GFA doesn't care.
and even with the
How do you even
Bibiani Gold Stars winning the league was as a result of Nations FC actually walking out on the game 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
You see, so
And how do you even approve stadiums? Me, I worked with the GFA some time ago. I was a venue media officer with the GFA. And I can sit down and then these people will approve stadiums. They will approve stadiums that will not even be fit for training infrastructures in abroad. Stadiums where Charlie, even buses, you can approve buses that shouldn't even be banned, shouldn't even transport footballers. If it's even if it's in Accra, fine. But
the cars that lead from
Yes.
Arena to where we live are not that bad.
exactly, you shouldn't even approve team buses. Especially team buses that will even travel from somewhere like Accra to Bibiani, Accra to Nswantre, Accra to Kumasi, even Tamale, like the North, because there are other teams that use the Tamale Stadium. How do you even approve all this? And we are living in a country where we have leaders who say they have PhDs. Because as far as I know, anybody with a PhD is supposed to solve issues, solve problems. And Ghana is a country where somebody has a doctor in his name and has never solved any problem before. He's only to go and write thesis and go and put it on social media, but he has never solved any problem.
The standard of the league, one the things that need to improve is one, the football people themselves need to look at themselves,
Yes.
and ask themselves questions whether they are doing the right things
Because
or not,
if
whether they are making the right decisions or not.
Exactly, yeah. Because you can't be saying that you want the stadium, you want things to improve when the football people themselves are not even improving themselves. Because I don't expect to see Randy Abbey or I expect to see Ket and all those guys there and you expect say the football will grow. No. There are people who have the ideas there but are not there because people don't know them or people don't want them.
The fact that you have a club or you can run your club
Doesn't mean that
you
you're a
can
football
run-
expert. Yes, exactly.
yes,
You can run a
a
whole football structure.
It doesn't work like that, and sometimes that is why I don't really follow the local
yeah.
this thing. It bores me because there's nothing
There's nothing attractive for you to
talk
watch.
about. There's nothing to talk about. Every time it is bad news after bad news, after bad news, and sometimes it gets tiring.
Yeah. So like It's very.
We need to, the government needs to come in. And then one thing I don't like is that they keep saying that when the government comes in, FIFA will ban us
No,
and
no,
all those
it's
things.
even high
There is
time.
no team, there is no country in this world that is doing any proper football where the government doesn't have their hands in the football they are doing.
It's even high time, eh? It's high time.
They ban us.
Government. No, no, not even about. It's high time, eh? Government should even stop sponsoring the Black Stars. If you go to any serious football country in Europe, in South America, the Ministry of Sports doesn't sponsor.
The national team.
No, 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 no. It doesn't sponsor the national team. I've I've done a coaching training course in Qatar before. I've I've done research on sports structure for UK and other countries. They don't actually sponsor the league. What they do is that the national team, the FA, will actually go and look for sponsorship for their national teams.
And it's not as if
And
Black Stars doesn't have
yes,
sponsors.
and that's
They
the
do.
yes, they do. And those sponsors are the ones going to sponsor the national team. They are the ones going to pay that money that the FA is going to make from their sponsorship. Is what the FA uses to pay the players, their traveling, their everything
feeding and
is
everything
the
about-
FA.
about the
Yes.
national team.
Then the Ministry of Sports is rather using the money that they generate from the government or whatever money they are going to generate is what they are going to use to sponsor the local leagues. So the Premier League, the Championships, League One, League Two, La Liga,
Those-
Secunda, everything is managed by the Minister of Sports or the Ministry of Sports or the office of the maybe whatever, like the little sports agencies in the country are the ones handling the local league. Then the Spanish Football Association or the German Football Association or whatever money they generate from the sponsors is what they're going to use to sort out whatever expenses you get it. And that one, if you are, let's say for example, you are not the money you are making, right? You are not using it to do whatever you have to do. The government has every power to come into it.
Yes.
But here lies the case. We have Voltic, we have other sponsors, Cherry, this Chinese, whatever, NASCO are all sponsors of the FA. Where is that money going to? That every day we need government to be what? You paying Black Stars. You pay Black Stars, you pay winning bonus, you pay qualification to tournaments and everything. And then the local league is lacking.
It can only boil down to corruption and personal interest of certain
Exactly.
people. And the government has also not done well in terms of infrastructure. I just can't put the maintenance culture we have in this country is bad, because when the government is to even put infrastructure in place, they'll build the stadia, they'll do everything, and then everybody rushes to use it. After some time, it deteriorates, and then they don't do anything about it. When the Cape Coast Stadium was first built, they used it to host series of tournaments, and now the Cape Coast Stadium is nothing to write home about anymore. They've done the Legon Stadium for the All African Games. Now they are using it. After some time, it will deteriorate. They won't maintain it.
Yeah.
And they'll move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we have big stadiums here that if we are to maintain or work on, they can help us to at least lift the face or the image of the sports that we have in this country.
Exactly,
And then
yeah.
the policies that our policymakers, the parliamentarians are making on sports and everything is, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. They
So-
don't regard the sport as much as maybe they don't love it as much as we love it, or they don't see the benefits that we can get from developing proper sporting policies for this country. Maybe they are not getting the whole bigger picture of what the sports.
Me, at the end of
for
the
this
yes,
country.
at the end of the day, we are just not serious. Our leaders are not serious. See, because at this moment, Ghana should be in the top 5 top leagues in Africa.
Oh yes,
Yes. At
There was
least
a time in Africa where the finals of the Confederations Cup was between House of Oak and
yes,
Kotoko.
and then there are time when we had 3 slots for champions, we had 3 slots for Confederations Cup. Today we have just one slot, and all the time I have to even go through qualifying. So you're not serious as a country. You get it? And journalists journalists take plenty money. So now they don't talk. Just a few journalists they talk. The rest more take money from.
And it is the nonchalantness of the FA that baffles me. It doesn't matter what you say; they don't care.
Yeah.
You see, it's because those who are in the top about making money not from the league, but because they have teams, they
Yeah,
scout
they
their
just saw
players
them, send them to
and
abroad
then
and
they
make
push
national
for
teams.
people to
Yes.
see them, and then they are making
Me,
money. So
though,
once they are making money, they don't care about whether
the only
how you see
the
it
only
or
time I'll be serious about this country is when we vote in better leaders at the FA. That is number one. And the day the sports ministry will stop investing in our black stars, that money should go into the. I say, if you
you
see
see,
stadiums where the
you
division
cannot.
one they play,
I'm coming. You cannot even. You see, the thing about it is that you cannot ask the ministry to invest into the local league because the local league or the league is the how do you call it is the baby of the FA. It is entirely the responsibility of the Ghana Football Association. They are doing it is a private business
yeah,
that they are running.
yeah,
Yes, government has a hand in whatever goes on. They can do policy direction
yeah,
and all those
yeah,
things.
but I get it. But you see, the thing is, the thing is, in order for you to be able to, in order for you and in order for you and the FA to be able to develop the league, the ministry
Work
has
with
to
the
work. They have to actually control. They have to control everything. They have to control the national, like the league. That's what is done everywhere. And then whatever sponsors are going to make, that one should go into the sponsors should rather invest in the national team, Black Stars, under this, under that, under this. And then from there, the government should the money that the government is giving to Black Stars should rather go to the league. Because like the way I've seen that it's not the responsibility. It's also not the responsibility of the ministry to also sponsor Black Stars.
no, it is actually the responsibility.
No, it's not.
No, you see, the Black Stars is the national team.
No, it's the national team,
Yes,
but the Black
so
Stars is under
they are only managed by the FA.
No,
but they are for.
That's
government.
why in every national team, the FA is under the album. It's still under the FA. You see,
like
the thing is that
I'm coming.
I'm coming. The sports ministry's job, right? The sports ministry's job. The sports ministry's job is rather upgrade infrastructures in the country, sports infrastructures in the country, and this same sports infrastructures is what is going to be used by mostly. It's going to be used by mostly the local teams. Just for example, where the London Stadium was built by the government for the Olympics, and then it's been leased to West Ham United because West Ham United is a local team. That's exactly what is supposed to be done. So yes, in fact, the sports ministry guys, it's not even their job to even sponsor both the local league and the FA. But what I'm trying to say is that the money that are wasting on the FA should rather be used to develop sports infrastructures for our local boys in Ghana here and let them handle their Black Stars, like how it is done everywhere in the world.
Okay.
You get it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you get what I'm saying. Yes.
I get what you're coming.
Or if the FA not allowed, they don't sponsor the Black Stars, so allow them to do the two jobs because it's not your job. That is it. But we'll discuss more about that later on. So there again, it's time. My producer says it's time, and today we've had a long discussion today. Danny has helped a lot. He'll be here next week and subsequent weeks. We'll have a lot to discuss. I mean, because from now till August, there's no league. The only significant sporting event is the FIFA Club World Cup. So now it's about we trying to create some sort of impact whilst we discuss the transfer, whatever is going to happen at the FIFA Club World Cup. And then, I mean, we'll keep on talking. If it doesn't work, we'll also still focus on our international football. Right. So today's show was brought to you by EF Metalwork. Anything that has to do with metals, just contact Mr. Frimpong on Facebook, and then they'll handle everything for you. Frank, Nurturing the American Dream by Frank J. Mensah is a book that teaches you how to be able to gain success in Ghana. I mean, there's a lot of controversies behind it because of what people are seeing, but just read the book, read it, and you'll get to understand his perception. And then Dell Cosmetics, anything that has to do with cosmetics and jewelries, just contact them. Remember, on your first purchase, just use the code JABMedia at checkpoint, and you get a 10% cut off. Right. So before I started, I told you that there's a program called BEC Pens Down. BEC Pens Down, which is which is going to happen at the Lakeside Marina Park. So this is how it is. So it's the BEC Pens Down Splash 2025. Lakeside Marina Park is giving all BEC graduates a fun-filled day full of educational and entertaining activities. Come 4th July at a cool rate of 100 Ghana cedis. This gives you access to the pool, water park, boat swing, fall on giant slide, limbo, 4Connect, board games, and many more. Enjoy powerful performances from your favorite artists in Ghana and participate in fun games like freeze dance, painting, eating, tag of peace, karaoke, bottle flipping, balloon popping, competitions, and many others to win freebies and gift packages from our sponsors. For more information and inquiries, contact 020 477 5044, 020 477 5044, or 0508 598 948, 0508 598 948. It's the BEC Pens Down Splash. BEC behind exciting memories ahead. Alright, so that will be it all for today's episode on Jabsports on Jab Media TV. As again, my name is Shule. Before I leave, please subscribe to our YouTube page at Jab Media TV. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook at Jab Media TV. And you can also follow me on Instagram at i.am.amin, on Facebook at Mr. Amin, on Twitter at Mr. Amin, and on Snapchat at Mr. Amin. We'll see you next week at 12 p.m. Next week, Tuesday at 12 p.m. Daniel will be out in the studios and we'll have a lot to discuss. And secondly, if you have anything you want us to discuss, just put down in the comment section. We'll look at it and then we'll have a bit of education about it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
It's the BC Pens Down Splash 2025.
Lakeside Marina Park is giving all BEC graduates a fun-filled day full of educational, recreational, and entertaining activities come 4th July at a cool rate of 100 Ghana cedis. This gives you access to both the recreational and water parks with activities like limbo, 4Connect, salting, swimming, and freeze dance amongst others.
Enjoy powerful performances from your favorite artists in GH. Winners from all competitions will get freebies and gift packages from our event sponsors. For more information and enquiries, please contact 0204 775044. BC Pens Down Splash. BC behind.